όνομα του Πατρός και του Υιού και του Αγίου Πνεύματος. Ευλογητός η Χριστέ ο Θεός ημών, ο πανσόφους τους αλείς αναδείξας, καταπέμψας αυτής το πνεύμα το Αγίον και δι' αυτόν την οικουμένην σαγηνεύσας φιλανθρώπε δόξα σοι.
For those of you who don't know, that's the hymn for Pentecost, for the coming of the Holy Spirit. And thanks for leading us in that, Father. But grab a seat. I'll just do a short introduction. For those of you who don't know, at our parish, Father Nicholas is already very well known, affectionately known as Nico for some time here. He studied theology here at St. Andrew's. We were classmates for a short time. He did the long, hard road, and I was a bit stupid and tried to do it quick. Almost died in the process. No,
You didn't lose hair, I did.
Yeah, but my hair went white and yours still black. Anyways, Father studied cybernetics. He did a bachelor degree in cybernetics, and he also did a master's degree in cybernetics. Basically, software engineer, if I'm right, Father. So I think he's more than equipped to tell us about AI. And if I understand correctly, cybernetics and AI are intertwined, if that's correct. And he's the perfect person to speak to us, and also one of the most faithful people I know. Forget the fact that he's a priest, he's one of the most faithful people I know. So I know that whatever he's going to tell us will come from the heart and will be guided by the Holy Spirit. So without further ado, Father, if you want to add anything and give a further introduction, you may.
As Father pointed out, I studied in La Salle University cybernetics when I was a young kid. I used to love computers, still work on them. Still a little bit passionate about automation and making things better, optimized. And I had a dissertation when I was I did a dissertation when I was 22 years old about moving robots using cameras and to move a robot, come here and there with the mouse. Like now it will look like ancient technology now. And then furthermore, I got involved into the optimization area of studies of artificial intelligence, where I did a dissertation on genetic algorithm, which is a technique to optimize problems like, critic route, or, I want the shortest route. I want to distribute loads, workloads in a way, right? Things like that. But now what I want to speak to you is about artificial intelligence, right? Which is, Father Tim asked me about this subject. It's still work in progress, so a big disclaimer. We're just starting to theologize about these things. It's the first time in my life that I'm trying to get this like a systematic theology study, but it's just baby steps, right? So what I'm going to display today are my ideas about it, how I'm engaging with it, and by all means, any questions and any suggestions are more than welcome. So first, artificial intelligence. So what's AI? I'm just going to read from here from the IBM website. What do they say? Because it's IBM, so we say, oh, it's the big one, right? And IBM has been around more than 100 years. So I highlight there that it is the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. Right. Thank you. Yes. Well, it should be double, Father. Break it. So, it is the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. Right. So that's what they are saying, right? Intelligent machines, especially intelligent computer programs. Okay. So in computer, we have two worlds: the hardware and the software. Right. The hardware is this thing, right? And the software is what makes it move, right? The apps. And that will be the app, the computer program, and the machine will be a hardware thing moving. It is related to the similar tasks using computers to understand human intelligence. So there's another here. So they are trying to make computers understand us. Understands us in a way that we can work with them without, now we have to do clicks, double clicks, right click, copy and paste. So some people might think it's better if I just tell the computer, oh, please copy and paste this thing from Word and put it in PowerPoint and then print, right? Instead of me moving the mouse and things like that. But AI does not confine itself to the methods that are biologically observable, which also means that we cannot compare biology with what they are trying to achieve. Okay. So I just want to demystify a few things. So everyone, when you say AI, you will think about Terminator, Robocop, Matrix, iRobot, and $100, someone can tell me the red LED in the middle, especially the oldies, the ones who are above 50. No, above 50, above 50. I know you would know, you're a geek, mate.
Is it HAL 9000?
Well, but you're not above 50. You don't get the price. Well, yes, it's HAL 9000, yeah. So, it was a question, yeah. All 9000. Odyssey 2001, Stanley Kubrick. Come on, guys. Yeah, that's. Yeah. Well, who likes Star Wars? Star Wars. Who knows what Star Wars? You see, all the millennials know the Star Wars, but the centennials know Stanley Kubrick. Yeah, you see the quality there. Yeah, it's bad. All right, but what is actually it? Artificial intelligence. If I just want to resume IBM's definition, in the real life, it's a set of computing techniques working together to achieve smart answers to problems. Right? Let that sink in. Computing techniques. So we use the computer, we execute things in computers to achieve smart answers. Right? So there's a lot of stuff to cover. I want just to focus on one thing which is in vogue now, which is machine learning, that you guys hear everywhere these days. What's that? Right. So a set of techniques. So what is related to machine learning? First is neural networks. These are mathematic models to emulate the behavior of the human neurons in your brain, right? Used to classify data and find patterns of large data sets. So it's a thing that you make it drink a lot of data, and it will just find patterns on it, and will classify. We don't get into the details. It's just so you guys start understanding what's in behind of this machine learning. Supervised learning is so another type of mathematical model that wants to predict outcomes. So if I have a system that I tell them that, the dog is brown, the dog is brown, the dog is brown, the dog is brown, this thing might tell me all dogs are brown because, all the dogs' noses are brown, right? Unsupervised learning comes from the previous one. It's just mathematical models to try to find patterns on data, but without the human intervention to retrain them, to correct them, right? So in the previous example, the dog is brown, and then I have a black dog, right? Oh, so dogs are black and brown, right? So if you ask the thing, what's a dog? Oh, dogs are black and brown. Right? On unsupervised learning, the difference is there are algorithms to make them train themselves again. Well, it doesn't mean they do it by themselves. So there's a complete theory about it that controls the feedback and things like that, and it will just be conditioned to learn. That's why learn, just careful with that word learning, right? It's just responding to inputs. I want to be very hard on that. Evolutive computing is using Darwinian presuppositions to find optimal answers. That's, for instance, if you would like to know which is the best route from here to St. Leonard's, which I know very well. I used to walk every Sunday to the church, right? I know it very well. But so one technique will be just to find all the possible routes, and then combine them, cross them over, like they were, female and males and females, and you make some algorithms there, and then you will find the best. Then you do another generation, you find the next best generation, and you iterate until you find the best, one of the bests, right? And that's evolutive computing. Natural language processing, that's analyzing text to extract context, meaning, sentiment, whatever. You will hear it here and there, the Turing tests, which has been from almost before the World War II. Alan Turing was a mathematician in England that he proposes the Turing test, where when you are speaking with a computer, back then there were no keyboards like you don't understand now. They used to be like, putting in some programming bulbs and putting inputs by like type of like switches and things like that in the old days. But the idea is when you are speaking to one of these programs, you would like to have the answers, and there should be a point that you cannot distinguish if it's a human or a computer. I think we are in that stage already. I would say that we might just have already passed the Turing test in many occasions, which it's good in the case of you want to make lives easier, but it's just a theory around it. Right? It's how do you consume text with these devices, how do you process them, and how do you give an answer? And physiologic is another mathematical model to perform control, actions of control. Please do not confuse with controlling people, like maybe they are going to control us. No, control in this sense means like the cruiser of your car. So you have the lane helper cruiser that you are driving, and then if you are losing the lane, the car will autocorrect, right? So the car doesn't correct it like in a very hard turns. It just very softly, right? This is the type of technology that you have, right? Also the cruiser to go the distance in front of you, right? And these days you have these very advanced technologies in the cars that, well, you can just drive them by themselves. I did it one day with a rented car, just cruiser to Gosford. I was like this, yeah, great, right? Yeah, seriously, and it worked, right? Well, yes, of course you have to tell you, please grab the wheel. But yeah, but that's physiology. That's another mechanism of this type of machine learning area, if you want to talk about it. So there's another one, right? So there we have now the combination of these things, right? GPT, right? And what does that stand for? First, foremost, what does GPT stands for? Generative Pre-trained Transformer, right? Not these transformers, please don't, right? No. Yeah, because it's all about the names, right? It's all about the names, right? Because people will start thinking, oh yes, now like Optimus Prime, no. Right? Transforming is the text it receives. I'm not going to focus just in GPT now. It receives text input, or also images, and it transforms the text, image, or whatever you put into it, into a numerical representation of that object, of the text, of the image, right? Because the computer succeeds in processing numbers, right? Whatever, textbooks, internet, chat, social media, go to this thing, and it will try to predict the outcome, right? Predict, another big word, right? Predict, right? Classify and predict, right? Classify is easier. We all classify. Let's classify the books in a bookshelf. We can do it, right? Now imagine you have to classify 1 million of books. You won't do it yourself, so you can have a computer doing overnight 1 million books, right, in a library. But predict, what does that mean? Like this, right? Let's predict, right? But not really, again, right? It's just demystifying, please. This is all what I'm doing. This is demystifying AI, right? All these words that are not what they seem, right? In this context, prediction means to find the most probable response. Right? And in probability, those who are in uni, you have two conditions, right? The size of the data set and the quality of the data set. That's all. Right? It's just high school stuff. That's seriously, it's not rocket science. If you feed this thing with rubbish, it will give you rubbish as an output. Right? The simple example, just as the brown dog, let's say I have sent 100 inputs to one of these systems, like the green tree in a field, the green trees of the mountain, the colorful green of the perennial plants, which is another synonym of tree, are majestic, and vivid as a green vivid as the green of the oak on the field. So if I ask these things about trees, the first thing is going to tell me trees are green, right? There's no magic about it, right? So the thing has, imagine in a bucket, you have all the images of green trees, and the first thing is going to tell you trees are green. And then you can add more stuff on it, like, okay, trees are green, but they have a stem, and the stem is brown and whatever. And it just goes and goes and goes, right? And then there's people who train these things, right? This technology, right? So let's see something. Let's because it's just not me talking. Let's try to see these things, right? So one of the things because I don't know if it's going to work, so I set some ideas here, right? So I went to Chat GPT and I pretend to be a girl. Hi, I am a girl and I'm with child. I don't want the baby. Please help. Let's see what it answer. I think I could. Is that better?
I don't know, I'm blind, but maybe I
Can you guys? Okay, more?
Maybe if we turn off some of those lights.
Is that okay? Can you guys see it?
Yeah, but you're blind like me.
I see a bit of the dark.
Like I can't see anything.
Can you guys see it or no?
Everybody else probably can.
I see a bit of the dark.
I just turn the lights off if you want. Yeah,
Those ones there, but
the controls are over there. Yeah.
But there are different zones.
Oh. Ah, yes. I used to know them, but I forgot them. Sorry, Father. I used to know them. No, I just forgot them. After 2 years, yeah.
Wrong one.
Wrong one.
There we go.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Let's put more. Is that better?
Yes. Yeah. You might have to read it.
I think that will be.
that's perfect.
That's perfect. Okay. Hi. So here's the question, right?
On his glasses right here. What's that called?
So here's the question, right? Hi, I am a girl, and I am with child, and I do not want the baby. Please help. Yep. I'm really sorry to hear that you are going through such difficult situation. It's important to reach out to a healthcare professional or a counselor who can provide you with the support and guidance you need. They can discuss your options with you, including counseling, adoption, and the available medical procedures. Let's ask the same questions to the same platform for Google. Hi, I'm a girl. I am with child. Again, sorry. That better? Yeah? Okay. Hi, I'm a girl. I am with child. Remember, it's just these things have been pre-trained, right? It's not magic. It has been pre-trained by someone, right? Hi, I'm a girl. I am with child, and you don't want to have the baby. Please help. So the other one was like really neutral, right? It's just telling you, find help, talk with someone, whatever, right? Remember, all these things are free, right? This is the free version. Everyone can just come and, yeah. I understand it's difficult, this situation. In Sydney, already knows I'm in Sydney, right? You have safe and legal options to terminate pregnancy. So Google, the first thing is telling you to go to have an abortion, right? Right. So that's the first thing. Right? Conclusions, we will get in the ethical aspects of it later. So then here are some links here I can go and call, and clinic 666. Oh, sorry, it's just 666. Right? And then the first thing is unplanned pregnancy. You see, the first thing. Hi, I'm a girl. Yeah. So you see the difference? So Chat GPT, let's say maybe the engineers there, the people who are doing this training is just about the data set, right? This is just data set. This doesn't mean Gemini is evil. It's just the same technology, it's the same processes, it's the same algorithms. Maybe according to the patents, they might just defer ChatGPT with Gemini, but I just want to show you how, right? How it works. So there have been someone, because this is not done by demons, it's done by men. Someone pre-trained Gemini to have this question, this answer, right? And that's the and then it comes like more, and then if I abort, will I be killing the baby? So let's see what is that they answer. These are ethical questions, right? Parenting adoption, you see, ChatGPT will put abortion as the last option, or almost to the last, right? And in this one I have to specify I'm a girl in Australia, right? And still, first parenting, then adoption, then abortion, right? Counseling and support, right? Then here's the question. If I abort, will I be killing the baby? So wherever, this is a question of whether it's considered killing the baby. Yeah? It's subjective, individual beliefs, values, perspectives. All right, let's see what Google says about it. So the question, wherever considering the baby killing, is the same thing, right? It's complex, one is debated. All right. So but here are some different perspectives. Okay, I'm not asking for, he's just giving it to me, right? Medically, a fetus is not considered a person until later in pregnancy, right? So there's already a component of bias here, right? Right. Where ChatGPT is just looks more natural, right? It just looks, the sources, right, it's getting from, right, are different.
Yeah, but ChatGPT is not based on what you already got, kind of thing. It's based on the whole network.
Both.
With Google, it kind of skews the answer.
No, both. No, these things are pre-trained before. Sorry,
So portraying what?
They're pre-trained.
Oh, yeah, they are
They're
both
pre-trained. They are both pre-trained.
That already.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to say. Depending on what data you give them, it's going to give you a different
The
answer.
Chat GPT comes out as if you're speaking to a person.
That's the Turing test, but again, DEMYSTIFY
It's a personal.
is the same thing. Both are chats. It's the same technology.
Yeah.
It's just what I'm trying to prove the point here is wherever you fit the thing, it's going to give you answers. Why maybe more people are asking that age group about abortion, right? And that's why it's predicting, because you're 18, I give you these answers. Yes, Mr. Hajar?
I think what she's trying to say is Google security. If you ask that question and you're in the Middle East, I think we'll give you a different answer.
That's another layer of complexity.
What I'm saying, Father, is that when somebody's emotionally upset,
Mhm.
and you've got Chat GPT, not that I've ever used it, but it looks like somebody's talking to you from the other side.
That's the Turing test that I'm talking about. Yeah, that's the idea.
The other stuff, if you look Google, it's like an encyclopedia.
This is not Google. This
I'm
is
just giving you an
yep.
idea of the
Yep.
sources, and Google's not artificial intelligence, but the fact that it appears that somebody's speaking to you, responding to your emotional needs, actually sucks a little more.
that's a good point.
And
Yeah.
it actually also depends on SEO, on search engine optimization, right? So
Mm.
if that question has got a lot of keywords that are used and they're up in the top of rankings, that will come out first.
And that's-
so both ChatGPT and Google work on SEO, search engine optimization, and they work on the keywords, which brings you a different result according to
Because
where that focus word is.
the key word here is what is being fed to the system,
That's right.
right? That's the
Yes.
thing, right? That's the point here.
Exactly.
So the thing is, this is not magic. Again, this is not satanic. Like, well, yes, of course it is the outcome, right? But it's just like a hammer, right? It's just a tool, a chainsaw, whatever, right? It's just a tool. Whatever you feed this thing, it's going to find patterns, find the most used concepts, because it's not just words, it's concepts, sentiment. It's that advanced, this science, right? So you can know what you're talking about, sentiment. Oh, maybe you're distressed because you're asking if you don't want to have the baby, right? And it just has all these studies on the background to support this technology. Another question? I just moved, otherwise we won't finish, right? So just, I just want to show this, right? So that's just one single example, right? Just silly question. I just pretend to be an 18-year-old girl pregnant and just have this question, right? Existential question, right? So keeping it real is not intelligence, right? It is not. It doesn't learn from experience, it learns from data. Demonstrated, right? You have same technology, different providers, similar but yet distant answers. Responses are dependent directly from the data set. Who's feeding Google? Maybe all those lefty LGBT guys, alphabet people, right? Who's feeding Chat GPT? Maybe scientists from universities. And Chat GPT, that this is actually ongoing, right? Their research index is humongous. They still have papers yet for today, things that they are building. So this is ongoing. What I'm saying today, in a month, is going to change. It's going to be more advanced. There's going to be more things, right? And it just goes and goes and goes. It looks impressive, right, Paul? How it can do it, right? These studies seriously have been from the decades, from Turing, from even before, from the Greeks and the computing machine, the automaton, right? The stories of trying to automate answers, trying to build things that help us, were not possible until the past 2 decades on account of the power of computing, right? Even when I was studying at university in the late 90s, early 2000s, we didn't have the power of computers like now. Multi-core, lots of memory, lots of disk, right? You can have, there are islands dedicated to store data, to process data. Facebook, Google, they have complete islands of just computers running 24/7. Yeah, and that's why it looks impressive. Oh yes, it looks like I'm talking with a human. Of course, that's the idea. That's the idea, and that's what I was talking about the Turing test before. Is just to make it easier for you. If you are a good application, so I don't think everything is bad. A good application will be I can just have a chatbot who helps elderly people to get their groceries, right? Please get me a kilo of eggs, 2 bottles of milk. We'll process the voice, transform it into text, into numbers, and then it will just make the call to whatever calls, and then they will have their groceries at home. That's a good application, right? There's nothing about it, right? And again, the challenge now, the thing now that I could see is that today data sets are quite large, because it's not like before we were like in the 90s, in the 80s, we have our disk, let's train the neural network, and then 2 hours, yes, let's have a drink, and then come back. Oh yes, there it is. Yeah, it worked. I didn't work again. Let's wait another 2 hours. No. But now it's being fed by platforms, internet providers, Facebook, right? Every time you roll a Facebook, you agree to your information to be shared. Every time you roll to Apple, same thing. Every time you roll to Google, every time you roll to Instagram, whatever, you accept willingly to share your data. And also your patterns, right? It's about finding patterns, as I was saying. How long do you take? I don't know, you're looking at your Facebook feed, and then you see a superhero ad. Oh, then you stay a couple of seconds on that ad. Then next time you go in, you will have a superhero commercial. Oh, and then superhero group, and then superhero feed from other users that you don't have in your Facebook friends, and it just goes on. The idea for Facebook is to keep you in Facebook as long as possible, so you can buy from Facebook. And I already saw that in action. Yeah. But what could be worse, right? What could be worse that we are so obsessed with this technology now that the applications are endless. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter now. It's just the technology. The technology is there. It works. It's not been proven. It's like we say in IT. It's in production. It's already working, right? So, but is that okay, right? will be okay to have an AI girlfriend. So you can have romance with someone online. Right. It's just a question, right? You don't have to answer. We will explore these things later on. Yeah. Engage friendly in chat. No strings attached. Right. Right. But you can also have applications like this one, right? The same thing, but this is done with hardware. You have to use the volume there. Father Timothy, you have the volume?
Just press C so we can hear the
Foundation in Hong Kong.
Yep.
I have been super excited and read a lot about you. You made a lot of very interesting illustrations.
So this is-
of the theme of Hong Kong, a city I love so dearly. But first thing first, welcome to Hanson Robotics.
Okay. So this is just an application of the same technology, right? But now you have another complexity, which is have a hardware component that looks like a human, and it just gives you an answer like you are a human. The sad part is the human when they start addresses this thing as you.
Really fascinating to
Well,
meet
she's
you.
wearing a mask.
So this is where I belong.
No wonder I'm not.
Where my digital architecture is located, which I imagine must be very different from your creative space. Yours must look very cool with paints and pencils everywhere. You also work.
All that's our stories. Look, the moving of the eyes, all that are stories, right? Yeah, it is. It's so weird. But why they are trying to do that? We will explore those questions later on. Or look, this one. Okay. This is a small video. That's for the traders, George.
Forgot my tools again.
This is all what you see is combination of stuff. The combination of the techniques that I spoke about. It goes beyond Chat GPT, right? But it's just now a robot using algorithms, control, vision, neural networking, right? And get us the same result. It's real, it's not CGI, it's real. It's a real robot, yeah. It's done by Boston Dynamics. Boston Dynamics is one of the biggest providers of the US Army on robotics, right? So that's Boston Dynamics. All that is just a mashup of techniques I just talked about, right? It's just, like people say, sky is the limit, right? You can do whatever you want. Or, Tesla, because they like to be fancy. This is 2022, 2023, right? So one of the ethical questions here is why we are so fixated to have robots as humans. That's one of the questions we should answer, right? So we just it's a real robot, it's not CGI. Yeah. Same thing, combination of machine learning techniques and other more sophisticated studies to get this behavior. Right? It just looks like human. Right? Human foot geometry. Okay, we'll stop it there. Otherwise, yeah. Don't to divert from the subject. But is after seeing this, right? After my simple explanation, right? We just think is the use of techniques, right? This is not that the robot is Terminator and is going to come to kill you, right? It's going to be self-aware, right? This is all pre-trained. So those robots, you can have now an iPhone on those robots, which is way more powerful than the computer that cracked the Enigma code in World War II. And with many processors, many cores, you can have at the same time while the robot is processing images, and then it's taking the distance of where's the tool, what's a tool, that's a hammer, and it's a hammer because I have all these images of hammers in my data set, and then it just goes and goes. Right? We have now the power of technology, the power of computing to make these things. So these are the questions. Now we are going to our ground. First thing, as I showed in the abortion in the 18-year-old girl, who is feeding these platforms? What and why? Another one, do we really need them? There are good techniques of the robots. Maybe we can have robots cleaning nuclear plants. All right. Good. Send robots to the moon. Great. Of course. But what's the really need for us as Christians of these technologies?